Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. I thank you very much for being here. A cheers to you on this Wednesday, November 5th, 8 a.m. Appreciate you guys being a part of the Sliwa Show, a little hoops talk action. Busy day today. The Lakers, the San Antonio Spurs. I just did a members video as well. Already 2 cups of coffee in. All right, not fully 2 cups of coffee in, but a little bit more than a cup. Let's call it a cup and a half. I'm playing with some background music here to kind of start the show, maybe to end the show. We got some work to do on the production. We got some work to do. I'm going to focus more and more on that. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Thank you very much for being a part of the Sliwa Show. Always fun to be talking NBA and Lakers with you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. All right, that kind of fades out, sort of. Okay. Got a lot of things I want to get into today, and got a couple other things I want to talk about basketball related. First off, I got a bone to pick with everybody here real quick. Shout out to the members. We did a preview show. We kind of worked together in the background, and basically, what did we do here? For about 20 minutes, we worked on some topics to the show. I was kind of showing how I put together the thumbnail, and there are topics 100% influenced by our members in this morning's show. So thank you very much for all those members that hung out and that were a part of the show. That was great. It was phenomenal. And it was, something different, something new to do. I haven't done it before. Okay. Here's my bone to pick with everybody here real quick. I think yesterday I had a bone to pick that you guys were interrupting my roots reggae. And then, sometimes I don't want to go at 8. Maybe I want to go at 8:15. This morning, here's my bone to pick. Not one of you guys has said anything about my audio over the last week or so. Not one person. Not one person. I thought I could trust everybody on this channel. That's what I thought. All right, let me give you guys a quick little update here. Let me tell you what the hell happened. So yesterday, I'm realizing somehow this mic got disconnected and it's not picking it up on my laptop. And for about the last week, I'm using my Mac mic. And I'm listening back to some of the shows. I'm like, I need a new microphone. The cords are messed up. The mic is messed up. Nothing. I get nothing from anybody. Basically, I'm just used for content. Al, just give us content. That's all we want from you. All right, mic should be fixed. We should be good to go. It's not even fixed. I just connected it. So I think we should be good to go. The audio should be a lot better. I hallucinate when some of that stuff doesn't work. All right, here's a rundown we got going on for the show. I'm going to take a look at some of the comments here as well. I got a basketball story that I want to tell you guys as well. I don't know what's going on yesterday. Everywhere I went, everybody wanted to play basketball. Lakers hosting the San Antonio Spurs. 6-2 Los Angeles Lakers. 5-1 San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama versus Luka Doncic at Crypto.com Arena tonight. How much fun is this game going to be? Phenomenal game. Really, really cool game. Love the idea. Love the concept. Love the schedule. Love that they're getting them early. Love that both teams are looking really good to start out the year. So something to keep in mind in regards to that. Obviously, we're going to break it all down. Wemby, is he not must-watch TV? Let me tell you what I mean by that. Let me tell you exactly what I'm referring to in this one. If I told you can go watch any athlete in all of sports right now, where is Victor Wembanyama on that list? We'll talk about that. Reeves questionable for tonight, just something to keep in mind. I also got a topic on Reeves. Mark Stein was talking about the future of Austin Reeves. We'll get into that. Pelinka's success. You know what I'm going to do today? Thinking about this yesterday, driving around. And I'm like, has Pelinka made a bad move since last year's trade deadline? I don't think he has. So I'm going to highlight that. We'll spend a lot of time on that. Win now mode with LeBron. I'll edit that here real quick. Win now mode with LeBron. All right, what do I mean by that? What I mean, and by the way, this is coming from the members on this one. What I mean on that is very simple. That basically means that is the team good enough with what LeBron always wanted, which was to compete, And is it now good enough to where LeBron says, yeah, this is exactly what I was hoping for, and this is what I wanted to compete with? So win now mode with LeBron. NBA news, I got KD and Draymond that are kind of going at it for some different reasons. I hate to say it, but I think I'm agreeing with Draymond Green on this one. I'm not the biggest Draymond Green fan, but I think he's got a point with what he's making in regards to what they were talking about. All right, we'll get into all that stuff. I'm going to read a couple of the comments. The show's going to start. I'm going to also give a quick shout out here to everybody. My views have been just phenomenal for the channel, and it's been awesome. It's been really, really great. And I just want to thank you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the show. And it kind of doesn't even matter. Sometimes it's things that are happening in a recorded video, or it's in a live video, whatever the case is. So I appreciate you guys doing everything that you guys are doing. And I had to make that one edit, so I made it. So thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Let's get a couple comments in here. Let's see. You know what, Slee? I talk all kinds of shit about Pelinka. Well, he shut me up. Listen, can I tell you guys something? Yesterday I put out a video on JJ Redick and how he's kind of shifting the culture. It was part of my conversation that I had with Trevor Lane. Okay. And we're talking about JJ Redick, and I was basically giving Redick a ton of credit. Guys, you can have a thought on something, and then over time, that thought just changes, or you get more information, and you can realize, like, hey, you know what? Maybe I was wrong on this one. Maybe I talk Lakers basketball every single day. I might hit on some things that I'm right about, and there's also going to be definitely things that I'm wrong about. Rob Pelinka is going to be an interesting conversation in himself, and I like that you're actually admitting, saying, hey, that's what I thought about Rob, but damn, Rob has been proving me wrong. JJ Redick got hired. I didn't know how Redick's going to do. We can't question that Redick is, we're not 100% sure how Redick is going to be as the Lakers head coach. Of course you can question that. But then you can also come back and just say, you know what, Redick's better than I thought he was. You could say that with a lot of the players and all that stuff. So I do like, it says something in, from my perspective, it does say something when people kind of admit where they were off on this or wrong or something along those lines. Okay, let's get the show started. Enough is enough here. Let me just get Eugene in here because he's been a member for 6 months. Slee, you were complaining a lot during preseason. I was complaining a lot during preseason. You weren't? I was definitely complaining during preseason. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what the product was. Then they came out game one. They weren't ready against Golden State Warriors. Since then, they've won 6 of 7 games. Not much to complaining about. Eugene, thank you for being a member for the last 6 months. So Lakers got the Spurs coming up tonight. I'm really, really excited about this game. I really, really am. And I don't know. I can't really 100% figure out why I'm so excited. Is it just because it's Wemby? And I'm like, I can't wait to see Victor Wembanyama for 48 minutes where I'm not watching kind of a highlight reel of Wembanyama, or I'm not looking at it's the Dallas Mavericks and the San Antonio Spurs. I don't care for either team, so I don't have much of an emotional attachment to it, or I'm not going to be breaking it down like I typically do after games. I'm really, really excited about tonight's game. And I know a lot of it has to do with one player. It has to do with Wembanyama. But I think there's a little bit more to it. The fact that San Antonio's 5-1, this is the best team that the Lakers have played so far this season. I mean, I'm talking about from a just straight up record perspective. Tonight's game is the best opponent that the Lakers will have faced so far this year. They haven't played Denver yet. They haven't played the Oklahoma City Thunder yet. I know they played the Golden State Warriors, who are kind of, hovering around, couple wins, a loss, things along those lines. The San Antonio Spurs only have 1 L. So I think the fact that the Lakers have started the season out 6-2, that they've won in so many different ways with so many different players, there's a heightened interest to this game. If the Spurs were 3-3, or let's just say they were 3-3, I still think there'd be a tremendous amount of hype to this game because it's Victor Wembanyama. But the fact that they only have 1 L, that they're playing this good of basketball, that a lot of those power rankings that are out there, it's like, hey, maybe San Antonio is one of those teams that you got to talk about being really, really in the mix in the Western Conference, not just a fringe team, not just a team that's happy to make it to, just make it to the playing tournament or something along those lines. The hype behind this game, I think, has more to do with just Victor Wembanyama, and then obviously Wembanyama is going to take it to a completely different level. I have not yet got a chance. I remember this was a couple years back before Wemby was drafted. Lakers had a preseason game. I could be wrong on this, but I'm going to try to do my best to think here. They had a preseason game. And I'm trying to think here. Was it in Vegas? Maybe it was in Vegas. Maybe it was in Palm Springs. I know it wasn't at Crypto, and I know it wasn't at, one of these major arenas. LeBron, Anthony Davis, obviously on the team at that time. And there was this buzz around the arena. And they're like, hey, that 19-year-old French dude is here. I'm like, which 19-year-old French dude are you talking about? I just didn't know that much about Wemby at the time. And then Wemby, kind of walks towards his seat. And LeBron and Anthony Davis say what's up to him. Everybody kind of at that point was starting to know, hey, there's this unbelievable talent that's playing in France that's coming to the NBA, and he's going to be the overwhelming number one pick in the NBA draft whenever that comes. And then obviously from there, it's like, okay, now everybody knows about Victor Wembanyama. If I told you guys, if I said to everybody here, if I said, all right, and this is kind of goes on the must-watch TV. If I said, look, I will buy you a ticket to any sporting event in the country. You pick who it is that you want to watch. Any player that you want to watch. Patrick Mahomes on that list. Shohei Ohtani on that list. Lionel Messi with Miami on that list. Go down the list. I mean, you guys can kind of, I don't know, you want to throw Aaron Judge on that list. You want to throw Josh Allen on that list. You guys can go up and down in the NBA. Obviously, Luka Doncic would be on that list. Go up and down. How far do you get to before you say Victor Wembanyama? That's what I mean by must-watch TV. And that's what I mean by, if you get a chance to see this guy live and you get a chance to see him up close, I think your mind is going to be wildly confused of what you're watching. What makes Victor Wembanyama such an incredible, incredible talent, what makes him so exciting to watch, what makes him, just stop what you're doing and say, yeah, I got to just spend 20 minutes watching Victor Wembanyama. Never seen anything like it. There's certain players that represent certain sports where you just cannot get your eye off the TV. And I think Wemby is walking into that if he's not already there in the NBA. That's what I mean by must-watch TV. I love Jokic. I've seen Jokic. I've seen him now I love Luka. I've seen Luka. Seen LeBron for years. KD for years. Steph for years. My mind has yet to process what Victor Wembanyama is. So tonight we're going to get a chance to see Victor Wembanyama. I'm really, really looking forward to see what that's going to look like. And let's just kind of get into it real quick from a basketball perspective, because at the end of the day, what the Lakers are trying to do is run their record to 7-2. What they're trying to do is stack up another W, obviously at Crypto.com Arena, and that is going to this is how we're going to judge the Lakers when the dust settles is, did you win the game or not? Because seeing Wemby and watching Wemby is going to be awesome. But if you watch Wemby go for 40 and 20 with 4 block shots, and you lose the game, we're probably not going to enjoy the game as much as we would if Lakers actually won the game. So with that being said, I'm going to spend a few minutes looking at some of the comments, and then I want to preview the Lakers and the Spurs, the actual game. The Phoenix Suns, who beat the San Antonio Spurs in the last matchup that they had, kind of had an interesting strategy of how they treated Wemby, and Wemby struggled in that game. So maybe the Lakers take a page out of that book, and then we'll also talk Reeves, because Reeves is questionable for tonight's game. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments. All right, somebody's got a list here. Mahomes, Lamar, LeBron, Luka, Steph, Wemby lose to the Lakers. There you go. I like that. As long as you get the loss to the Lakers. It's as I mean, I'll tell you, for me in the States right now, if I had a chance to see Messi, I mean, Messi might be on the top of my list just because I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get to see the soccer legend in the United States. So all I need is Miami and SDFC to be in the MLS finals, and I'll get a chance to see him. That's it. Simple, very easy. Morning Slee, great job on Petros and money yesterday. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Peter. I was did a little radio hit with those guys. I'm going to be in the iHeart Studios tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to do my show from there. But I am going to be there for a couple of meetings that I have, and slowly but surely, kind of that partnership. There'll be more details of what that partnership's going to look like. A lot of everything was kind of delayed because of the World Series, to be honest with you. So go from there. Let's get a couple more comments in here. Probably Vegas. Wemby's French team played. It was probably Vegas that we saw him. And just the buzz around there at that time. All right, let's get another one in here. I want to see us against Real Comp. While we definitely should be happy for 6-2 start, we should still be looking to improve on the team shorts coming against upper echelon teams come playoffs. This is a good comment right here. Let's stay with this here for a quick second. I was doing the show yesterday with Trevor, and I think I going back, sometimes when I'm done with the show, I'll listen to pieces of it. I'm trying to grab clips from it, whatever the case is. And I think Trevor and I disagreed on something about the Lakers' early success. I was trying to make a case, and I didn't tell Trevor in the moment. I was kind of letting him finish his point, and then I just forgot to bring it up. But in the moment when I said, forget about the record, forget about the Lakers being 6-2, I'm more impressed with how the Lakers have been winning. I'm more impressed that there's no excuses from this team. I'm more impressed that the coach really, really has the ear of his players, and you could tell by just their effort and everything that they give on a night in, night out basis. That even if the Lakers were 3-3, or no, 6-2, so 4-4, I wouldn't say it's the end of the world. I'd say, yeah, but guys, Luka's missed games. LeBron hasn't been there. Reeves has missed some games. He's questionable tonight. Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent, go down the list. I'm actually wildly impressed that they're 6-2. They shouldn't be 6-2. You shouldn't have that many injuries and still have that much success. So the idea of let's see them against some good teams, sure, that's fair. I think, of course, you want to eventually compare yourself to the best competition in the NBA or the best competition in the Western Conference. How do you fare? But I don't take anything away from what they've done. 6-2 with playing guys like Nick Smith Jr. and Bronny James in the last game and giving them significant minutes and still winning. I mean, I really, truly think, and I'm not watching every team out there in the league, especially in November, but I really think of all the teams out there that have had success, the Lakers have to be one of the most impressive teams in the entire league. How can they not be? How can you not make a case that they are as impressive as anybody else in the league? And San Antonio on that list as well. They're super young. What's Wemby? 21 years old. Will turn 22, I want to say, in January. How can you not be impressed with what they've done so far? Okay, let's preview a little bit of the game. Spurs are a very good team. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is good. This is exactly what you want if, obviously you're the LakeShow. Now you want to start seeing some competition. Eric says Pelinka cooked in the offseason. Eric, I'm going to come back to this because I got a whole segment on Pelinka that I want to do. Whole segment. Okay, so let me give everyone, as we look at tonight's game, Silver Screen and Roll did a nice preview here, so I'm taking some of the information off of here. They did a good job of a lot of really good websites out there that, especially kind of more Laker-driven, that aggregate everything. They take some pieces from here, some pieces in there, and then, you can really educate yourself on a couple of these topics as well. Sammy Long, by the way, also put out a video last night, Lakers and the Spurs, so that preview. So please support the work Sammy is doing. He's preview that video so you can go look at it. So as I'm looking at the game tonight and looking at the preview, here's what Wemby has done so far this year. Taken less three-pointers. He is 7'4", 7'5", so maybe taking less three-pointers, not a terrible strategy for him. Averaging just under 27 points a game, just under 14 rebounds a game, just under 5 blocks a game, 3.2 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. So that's what he's doing so far. There was a tweet out there, and I got a chance to watch it. And it basically focuses more on how the Phoenix Suns, who beat the San Antonio Spurs for the first time this season, Spurs were 5-0 going into that game. They played at Phoenix, and basically how they defended Wemby. I'm going to read this tweet. Carson Breber, who I'm assuming covers the Phoenix Suns, maybe does, maybe doesn't, but did a good job in kind of breaking it down. He said the Suns just forced Wemby into by far his worst game of the year, denying him off ball, making every catch hard, attacking the ball when he brings it low, crisp double teaming. Dealing with this level of physicality and swarming is going to be the challenge for him now. And there's some videos here of just kind of how they defended him. They were very physical with him, didn't let him just get the ball wherever he wanted the ball. Spurs are a smart organization. Wemby's a smart player. If he saw something that he hasn't really seen and another team had success on it, other teams are going to follow. He's going to make his adjustments. So whatever success they had, the game prior, how the Lakers obviously treat Victor Wembanyama tonight, there'll be some flashes of that, and I'm sure San Antonio will be ready for whatever the Lakers are bringing their way. This is what's going to make tonight's game interesting. You got DeAndre Ayton. That's going to obviously have to do everything he can. You got Jackson Hayes, who's most likely going to play. He was on the injury report, but as probable. So that's some good news there that you're going to have both of your bigs. But it's not going to be – Marcus Smart's not going to stop Victor Wembanyama. Neither is Jackson Hayes. I'm sorry, not Marcus Smart. DeAndre Ayton is not going to stop Victor Wembanyama. Neither is Jackson Hayes. The only way the Lakers – find a way to slow down Victor Wembanyama. And if you can kind of keep that engine under control, maybe you can keep the San Antonio Spurs under control. But the only way that's happening is Marcus Smart is in the way. Vando's a headache. Rui Hachimura has some good help defense. Whatever player basically they bring in, it's going to be more about the secondary players, not the main defender against Victor Wembanyama. There's no one person that's going to stop Victor Wembanyama. But at least we got a little bit of a blueprint of what the Phoenix Suns did, and maybe the Lakers can obviously work off of that. So, but I do like the idea of being physical with Wemby. A player like that, I'm sure he's not really trying to bang down low or anything along those lines. So I think it's going to be important to see how they end up defending him and what they do and how much of their game plan comes from what they saw yesterday, or not yesterday. The game was on Monday when Phoenix beat them. All right, let's see what we got here. Get physical with Wemby. With those long-ass arms, he can reach the basket within 7 feet. Only way to stop Wemby is physicality. Can't let Wemby get within 5 feet of the basket. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Luka dunking on Wemby tonight. Let's see that one. Let's see that one. All right, let's see what we got here. Spurs haven't played it. You're right. Their schedule has been not impressive at all. Not a solid schedule at all. So they really haven't had anything scheduling-wise that you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, they beat this team and that team. That has not been the case. So maybe the San Antonio Spurs are just benefiting off a schedule that was very, very favorable to them. So if that's the case, then, it's obviously going to be, we'll find out. I think we'll find out a little bit more about the Lakers tonight. I think this is just kind of part of the process. And I think getting a chance to play a Spurs team, maybe we find out a little bit more about the Lakers and the Spurs. Maybe the Spurs are not as good as they're advertised to be so far. We'll find out a little bit about both teams. So anyways, that should be good. And that hopefully gives you a little bit of preview what to expect tonight. They got a lot of other good players as well. Unfortunately, Harper's not going to be playing. De'Aaron Fox is out of this game as well. So they're going to be missing a couple of their key guys as well. All right, before I get into Austin Reeves, and I do want to get into a couple other topics, I have a members topic that I'm going to get into as well. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that. First off, shout out to Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Thank you to their partnership. I got a great example here for those that, are trying to figure out they're in a situation, a serious injury, a wrongful death case, a family member, a friend. Somebody is in a position where they don't feel good. They don't feel comfortable about their situation. Maybe they've reached out to other injury attorneys and haven't had any success. I can help you out here. Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Go to the website, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. It's a free consultation. You literally do not have to do anything. You just fill out the form. Somebody reaches out to you. I'll actually pop it up here on the screen so you guys can see it. So we created this URL, Wallace from the Sliwa Show. Free consultation, no win, no fee. So if you don't win your case, you don't have to pay a fee. They put a phone number here as well. But it's just a great way to reach out to the Wallace firm. And more importantly, if you're in a situation where you need some assistance, you need some help, you need some guidance, you need a professional, he can help anybody in the state of California. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Again, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. Okay, let's kind of keep rolling with some of the topics here. Austin Reeves. I want to talk Austin Reeves and a story that was in there from Mark Stein had a story out there as well. What do you guys want me to do? You guys want me to tell you a personal basketball story from yesterday or go to Austin Reeves right now? First 1 to 5. Sliwa's personal basketball story or go Austin Reeves? You guys pick. Okay? First 1 to 5. You put it in the comments. I tally it up. First 1 to 5. And then I roll with whatever the hell you guys want. All right? Let's get down here. We're going to find out a lot here. All right. Personal story. Austin's got 1. Austin got blown out, man. Austin, it wasn't even close, bro. I mean, it truly, genuinely wasn't even close, Austin. Hydrate reminder. I like this. Thank you, brother. All right, let's talk personal story. Still got a beef with everybody. 1 week, my audio was jacked up. Nobody said anything. Nothing. All right, here's what happened. Let me just tell you guys real quick. Okay? AR can wait, then AR is going to wait. Yesterday, I'm in my office. Outside of my office, it's a little outdoor, it's a nice little park area, and there's a hoop out there. I haven't been shooting around in a while. You know when you haven't shot around in a while? I got my basketball. I was just sitting there pumping it up, okay? If you're pumping your basketball, that means you're not using your basketball often at all. So 8 minutes later, I looked like I was back at Kennedy Recreation Center, like I was 9 years old pumping my basketball. I'm like, I'm going to go shoot around for a little bit. I'm just going to get a couple shots up, okay? So I get out there. I hadn't been out there for maybe more than 14 seconds. Kid comes up to me. Want to go one-on-one? What are we? What grade are you in? No, I don't think I want to go one-on-one, but I mean, I don't know. The guy's not even wearing shoes. He's wearing slides. He's wearing sandals. I'm like, what are we doing here? All right, you want to go one-on-one? We'll go one-on-one. All right, I'll work on my jumper here. We played a couple of games. He's a freshman. Guy's a freshman. I don't know if he enjoyed playing one-on-one with me or he walked away saying, why was this guy trying to teach me how to play the game of basketball? First off, the guy doesn't know how to play a lick of defense. Can you get a little bit lower and put your arms out? I had to teach this guy. His jumper outside of 15 feet, lost. Basically, Jared Vanderbilt out there. I'm like, this is what they're cropping right now? These are the kids that they're cropping out here? Got to teach him his jumper. I got to get him in a good defensive position. Played one-on-one. We played 2 games. Here's my one piece of advice for a 9th grader playing somebody that is slow and old. Don't let me shoot 2s. If I shoot 2s, got shot. If the game's 1s and 2s and it's up to 11, all I got to hit is 5 jumpers and the game's over. All right, I leave there. Then I go to LA Fitness. I'm going to go get a little bit of a lift in. All right, going to go lift. Before I lift, I'm like, I'm going to go shoot around. 14 seconds into my quick stop here at this gym. Now it's an indoor gym. It's, you can run full court. There were people shooting around. I just put my phone down for a quick second. Hey, you want to run threes? What's going on here? I haven't played basketball like actually against other people in a really long time. Within a span of an hour, someone's challenging me to go one-on-one, and then some other guys, they got 5. I'm the 6th guy. I'm not going to say no, we have to run threes. I'll tell you something. There was a difference in level of competition from the first game to the second game. The second game, these were like juniors and seniors. They knew what they were doing. And I also don't advise anyone to play basketball in Hokas. I mean, that was an ankle breaker waiting to happen. We lost that game. So won the one-on-one games where it was a free tutorial, and then lost the 3-on-3 game. Guys, I just want to shoot around. I'm not trying to play competitive basketball. I just want to shoot around. All right? All right, there's my story. All right, let's see what we got here. Slee hit him with the too small. I don't know. They might have hit me with the too small. They might have hit me with the too small. Is this the Sliwa flu game? No flu. I was healthy. I was good to go. Damn, kid called out C. Just straight up. I wasn't even on the court. Want to go one-on-one? Why do they, by the way, I feel like everybody asks when they ask if you want to play, they like put their chest out like they're trying to show something, you know? That's what I had. I asked you guys. You guys want my story, and you guys wanted the story. There's my story. My story is yesterday I tried to go shoot around 2 different times. Both times I tried to shoot around, I was being challenged to go one-on-one or 3-on-3. We blew a big lead, by the way. I think we were up like 8-1 in the game at LA Fitness. Lost 11-9. Oh, no, the game was to 15. We lost like 15-11 or 15-12. Blew a big lead. Just a big lead. Couldn't sleep last night. All right. This is the origin of how Sliwa became a Laker. All right. That was fun. No, I enjoyed that. Enjoyed playing. And then quickly when the game was over, I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and get out of the gym. All right. Let's talk some Austin Reeves. Let's keep going here. Thank you for being here, by the way. Thank you for being a part of the show. Please subscribe to the channel. Have I reminded you guys to subscribe here a little bit? All right, let's go Reeves. Reeves questionable tonight. I saw this. You know, Reeves is dealing with groin strain, is I think how they put it. I'm going to see if I get the actual, let me see exactly. Austin Reeves, yeah, right. Or no, not strain. Right groin soreness is questionable. I mentioned Jackson Hayes is probable. Couldn't hit a shot, by the way. The 3-on-3 game, Slee, hit a shot. And what are you doing? You literally offer nothing if you can't hit a shot. It's like Jared Vanderbilt not being able to play defense. Well, why are you on the court then? That's kind of was me yesterday. Yeah, they hit a jumper and we justify you being on the court. You can't hit a jumper. Hit a jumper. Austin Reeves real quick. Questionable for tonight. You know, this is a big one here. I think how the scope of this game goes might have a lot to do with whether Austin Reeves plays or he doesn't. San Antonio's, they got a lot of young guns. They got a lot of energy. You know they're going to put a lot of that energy towards Luka. You know they're going to try to do everything they can to kind of tire out some of the main players for the Lakers. You really, really need to have Austin Reeves tonight. I think that part is, you know, fair to say. I would love to see Austin Reeves play tonight, but we'll have to wait and see. We're not sure. I know he's questionable. A lot of the kind of success that the Lakers have had so far this year has involved Austin Reeves. So the hope is that Austin Reeves is in the lineup. But as of right now, he's questionable. I saw this article Mark Stein put out there. And Mark Stein was talking specifically about Austin Reeves and payday coming and everything else. You know, I think this is actually really good news for Austin Reeves. Or I think good news for Laker fans, because it's been talked about a lot about how Austin Reeves really, really would like to remain a Laker. We'll see what happens. There's no guarantee it's going to happen. I think we've all agreed the man is going to get paid. NBA insider Mark Stein recently said that Reeves has shown the ability to carry an offense by himself and seems to play better without Doncic or James on the floor. Here's what Mark Stein said. He looks great next to Luka. He looks great without Luka. You see the two of them, they're getting along so well. There truly is already a friendship blossoming there. And so the Lakers, obviously, they would love to see this continue. Here's, I think, the quote that I would take away. There is no sense at this point that Austin Reeves is looking anywhere else. I think if we had Austin Reeves on the show and got candid answers from him about his future, I think he would say that he wants to be in Lakerland. I thought he had a good point there too. I was asking Trev this question as well yesterday when we were talking. I think it's safe to say that Austin Reeves does not look like the same player when Luka's there versus when Luka's not there. Now, that's up to Austin Reeves to figure out how to play with Luka and to be more comfortable and know when to attack, know when to take games over, all that stuff. But I think if there's one thing apparent with Austin Reeves that I think is safe to say, Reeves wants to be a Laker. Will Reeves take a discount? Will Reeves say to himself, I think the chemistry that he is building with Luka, I think the off-court chemistry, I think the way the two joke around, the way Luka got into one of his pressers recently and just was joking around with him and everything else. I think there's genuine love between both of those players. And I think the question is going to be for Austin Reeves once he gets that opportunity. All right, what is he going to do with that opportunity? And will he give the Lakers one of those, you know what, I just want to be a Los Angeles Lakers, so let me roll with the punches here and I'll take my chances with the Lakers. And I will take less money because I want to compete for a championship. Austin Reeves, there's been no indication from him since he's been a Laker that he's selfish, that he doesn't look out for the best interests of the team, but he's also got to run his own business. And I do think there's going to be, some question marks out there of how much of what he's doing for his future is going to be predicated on, I got to go get mine, or no, I want to get as much as I can, but I also want to be a Los Angeles Laker. All right, we're going to talk Pelinka after this. That's going to be the next topic coming up. I do want to look at a few of these comments here as we get going here. Austin is going to go get 240 for 5 years. No way. Impossible that happens. Can you imagine him getting 240? What did we say? What was the two? Or was that what's 240 over 5 years? 240 divided by 5. No, that's way too much. That's not happening. 35. 35 is a good number for him. What's 35 times 5? What's he think of 5 years, 175? That not a good number? Everybody live with that? I do think, we'll see what eventually happens as far as the actual, the dollar amount that he gets. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be that high. 35 seems like the number. It's going to be right in that range based off of what everybody's been saying and everything else. All right. Shots at Vando. Listen, it's not even a shot at Vando, but do your job. And I didn't do my job yesterday. Shots fired here. Maybe Aspiration can hook AR up with a tree planting job. What a freaking mess. How about that story? You don't even hear anything more about that story. All right. Probably one of my favorite stories I want to get into. And frankly, I think I probably waited a little bit too long on this, but that's okay. We'll keep the show flowing here and keep going from there. Can I paint everybody a picture of what Rob Pelinka has done so far? And you guys can tell me, because the only time I hear something about Rob Pelinka typically is when something negative happens, or if a player is not performing well and it's thrown right back on the shoulders of Rob Pelinka. Has Pelinka made a mistake since last February's trade deadline? Has he made a mistake since last February's trade deadline? It could all change. Players that are having success can find themselves really struggling the rest of the season, so it could all change. But has Rob Pelinka made a mistake since last year's trade deadline? All right. Let's go back here a quick second, and then we'll fast forward all the way to where we are now. Okay. Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Laker. Traded for Luka, and go look at the Dallas Mavericks right now. And for those that were talking in the past about how this will become one of the worst trades in NBA history, if not the worst trade in NBA history, we'll see. We'll have to wait and find out. Do Lakers win a championship or multiple championships? Does Dallas make the playoffs this year? Do they not make the playoffs? You already got injuries that are obviously associated with their main players. Kyrie is out. Anthony Davis, I think, is missing a couple of games. I mean, there's really no justification for what Dallas did, but Lakers benefited from it. Luka's a Los Angeles Laker. Okay, you know what? Offseason comes. How are the Lakers going to improve the roster? By the way, can they improve the roster but keep a lot of their assets and the flexibility that they have? Okay, well, you got DeAndre Ayton. I think DeAndre Ayton seems like a very serviceable center right now for the Lakers and in the NBA. You got Marcus Smart, and if he can stay healthy, I don't think there's a Laker fan out there that doesn't enjoy having Marcus Smart on their team. Jake LaRavia has been one of the best stories so far for the Lakers, certainly over this stretch of games, and it's not just because the guy can hit a jumper. It's because he can get to the basket. He can get to the free throw line. He could rebound. He could assist. He could get you some steals. He's an all-around player. Jake LaRavia has been phenomenal. And again, I'm talking about just some of the pieces that he brought in the offseason. And then his head coach, JJ Redick, continues to prove after every single game, yeah, I'm a pretty good head coach in the NBA. I know I got a lot more to prove. I know this year I got to take another step and have success in the playoffs for people to look at me the way they want to look at me. And I know it's the Lakers' job and there's always going to be high expectations. But tell me where Pelinka has made a mistake since last February's trade deadline. February 1st was the trade deadline. He traded for Luka Doncic. Season ended. He got DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart. He kept Rui Hachimura. He kept expiring contracts because they're assets. He kept his draft picks. Dalton Knecht is still on the team. And JJ Redick looks like he's got an opportunity to be a really good coach for years to come in the NBA. I don't think he's made a mistake here since February 1st, 2025. I just want to give Pelinka some credit. That's all. That's all this video is. Because I think a lot of times when you talk about front offices or head coaches, it typically is at a time where it's convenient and it's something negative and it's something not working. And we want to bitch and complain. That happens a lot. But if I'm going to give success like I have so far this year to the 6-2 start, to the making no excuses, to JJ Redick changing the culture of this Lakers team, to seeing all these players, different players step up, to seeing some of the additions that the Lakers made have success. Shouldn't that all start at the top and trickle its way down? Shouldn't I compliment from the top and let that trickle its way down? By the way, here's another thing that I think Pelinka and the Lakers front office did. That was a smart move. They also didn't give LeBron an extension. They said, hey, this might be the final year with the Los Angeles Lakers, but you're not getting another 1+1. And he locked up Luka long-term. Honestly, flawless since February 1st. And that doesn't guarantee you're going to win a championship. It doesn't mean you're going to have a deep playoff run. But it means that there was all these questions about how the Lakers are going to transition from one superstar to another. They did that. Can they stop firing head coaches every 2 years and actually have a coach that you feel like can be here long-term and has a blueprint and a foundation? Looks like they found that. Can you find players to fill up some of the, the holes and keep the flexibility of potentially signing big-time players down the road or trading for players, keeping assets by this trade deadline? Done everything. Pelinka deserves credit. I hope you guys agree with me on that because I think it's genuine. All right, let's take a look at some of the comment here. Let's see what some of the people are saying. And now that I just did some of that, chemistry looking good without LeBron. I got a LeBron topic that I'm going to get on in a second here. Pelinka sits on his ass until something falls on his lap. Okay, that's one way to give him credit. Pelinka hasn't made a mistake since the Russ trade. Interesting. Okay, you're going back a little bit further there. Let me get some more in here. I want to see some more just specifically on Pelinka. And you guys don't have to agree with me. Obviously, you guys can disagree on this. I think LeBron Clutch had a lot of influence on some of Rob's decisions, Westbrook, THT. But now that Clutch influence doesn't matter, Pelinka can cook with JJ's input. I also think what has something to do with this as well, I think the fact that LeBron's going into his 23rd season in the NBA and they got Luka Doncic, and it's like, all right, well, I'm good. I'm good. This is an awful example, but it's like you're dating someone and I don't know. You meet somebody that's just like sweeps you off your feet and you're like, oh my gosh, this person is so much better than the current person that I'm dating. Again, it's a bad example. And you kind of start seeing things a little bit different and maybe makes that transition easier. Awful example. Awful example. It's a live show. All right. I'm trying here. He played his cards correctly. Picked up Luka, not extending Braun, making small moves that surprisingly worked out well. I will say this. Oh, this is a good point. Alex Lynn takes away the perfect A+. You're right about that. You're right about that. The Alex Lynn might change it all. I still don't understand why they brought Alex Lynn in. You know, the one thing that I will say that I think for me, as we're only 8 games in, so we could be sitting here by the time we get to January 1st and Ayton isn't as good and teams have adjusted to Jake LaRavia and Marcus Smart is injured. That could all happen as well. But up to this point, a lot of the moves that he's made so far seem like they are they're definitely working. 90% credit to JJ. Giving a lot of credit to JJ. I don't mind that, by the way. I like giving a head coach that is trying to earn his respect in the league, giving him credit. Pelinka brought in guys that played well elsewhere with upside. Not his fault those guys can't shoot in LA. Yeah, how has that happened? So many players end up joining the Lakers and can't hit a shot if their freaking life depended on it. Okay, good stuff there on the Pelinka stuff. I definitely wanted to give some credit there, and I'm glad that you guys are also kind of following suit in that and kind of agreeing with that perspective as well. Definitely love the Smart pickup. His hustle and effort makes a difference. Okay, good stuff there. Thank you. I appreciate you guys chiming in on that topic as well. Yeah, it's a good topic, and like I said, I think he definitely deserves some credit. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a quick idea. The next topic that I have here came from the members. I did a members show this morning at 7:30 a.m. So while you guys were laying in bed, scratching your ass, saying, well, I'll get up whenever I feel like it. No, not me and the members. Not me and the members. Playing grab ass over there. We roll up our sleeves and we go to work. All right? All right, here's what happened. I kind of bought them a little bit behind the scenes, and we did a little bit of prepping for the show. Because I don't know if you guys know this, there's prepping that's involved in the show. So it was actually kind of cool. I let them help influence one of the topics for the show. Kind of showed them how I set up the show before the show starts. And then also helped with one of the topics. So we did a little bit of all that. By the way, essentially then I'm the one playing grab ass because people are waking up a lot earlier than me. My apologies here. My apologies. My apologies. Nothing but respect. Nothing but respect. Here are one of the topics that we came up with, and shout out to a few of these members. I'm going to shout them out because I'm going to shout them out here real quick because they did help with the show and they did help with trying to get a couple things set up. So shout out to Sal Gounder. Shout out to Anthony Benvenuto. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Ash Larry something. Shout out to John Zering. So everybody that was in the comments this morning, and thank you for obviously being a part of helping out with getting a couple of these topics in, and thank you very much for being members. So everybody out there, if you're a member, awesome. I appreciate it. If you're not a member, just please consider it. I put a link in the bio as well, so you guys can be a member if you'd like to. $3 a month. All right, here's the topic. win now mode with LeBron. So one of the conversations we were having, and as we were kind of going through some of the topics, one of the conversations was LeBron's going to eventually come back. We've kind of had that conversation. What is it going to look like? Is he going to affect the chemistry? This, that, whatever the case is. If I'm LeBron James and I had Rich Paul put out that statement in the summer that I'm at a point in my career where I'm trying to compete. He still wants to try to compete for a championship. He understands the Lakers are kind of starting to shift and go in a different direction, and there's a new era starting in Lakers basketball. But one of the main things that LeBron in that press or the press release that Rich, or the statement that Rich Paul put out there, one of the main points that he made was, we're still trying to win right now. That win now mode. Is LeBron looking at this team right now and saying to himself, you know what? Maybe this is a little bit more interesting than I thought. Maybe Luka and AR are perfect for me at this stage of my career. I mean, Luka can compete for an MVP, no question about it this year. That's going to continue to happen. Of course, he can continue to compete for an MVP this season. Austin Reeves feels like he's taken to his game to another level. All these other pieces look like they fit. Lakers aren't making excuses. You can go down the list. I mean, Bronny has been really, really nice for the Lakers the last couple of games. Is LeBron looking at this team and saying, oh, no, they can win now? Wait. Everything that I wanted, that I was bitching and complaining about in the offseason, where I was creating this, am I staying here? Am I not staying here? What's he going to do next season? Is he going to be wanted? Is he going to want out at the trade deadline? All that stuff that was going on. Is there a chance LeBron is looking at this team and saying, my best chance to win is right here? Does it feel like the Lakers are not in a win now mode? And I'm not telling you again that they're going to go beat the Thunder tomorrow, go beat Denver tomorrow. I'm not telling you that. By the way, I think they would have a chance to beat both of those teams in a 7-game set. Everybody's got to be healthy. If you got Luka Doncic, you got a shot. If you got LeBron and hopefully he's healthy, you got a shot. And now you start adding all these other pieces that are in there that are looking more and more comfortable, you got a shot. I'm not telling you you're going to be the favorites, but I'm telling you that you have a shot. Everything that I think LeBron was hoping for, that maybe he was saying, I might have to go get somewhere else, is it not in front of him on this team? I think it is. And by the time we get to February 1st, and the Lakers need to make a couple of tweaks here and there, because I think they'll eventually need to add more talent. I think they'll eventually need to, get rid of some of these assets that they have. It's going to be up to them of how many of these assets they want to give. Maybe the best assets they have is just some expiring contracts, and teams say, look, you want to take 2-3 years left on this dude's contract? We'll take Gabe Vincent, or we'll take one of these other contracts, Gabe and Maxey, and throw in whatever it is, and we can clean our books when this season is done. I do think they're going to need more. But I think the question that we were having before, and the question LeBron was having, is, I can't not do it here. It's not going to happen. Aren't the Lakers just slowly showing that, no, we can hang with a lot of these teams in the West. We could also do it without all our best guys. Remember, we went through this yesterday. Yesterday we did the power rankings, and I said NBC had a power rankings, The Athletic had a power rankings, and Lakers were top 5 in both of those. What I did realize, and I know ESPN was doing this at some point, ESPN's power rankings, I think they do every Wednesday. And I don't know if they just started doing this. Maybe they did one before the season started, waited a couple weeks, and now are ready to go. Okay, where were Lakers in the ESPN power rankings? They got OKC 1. San Antonio, by the way, jumped up to number 2. Number 2 on that list. And a lot of it having to do with, obviously, Wembenyama. But Dylan Harper's been good, too. That's obviously their second pick, the rookie. They got Denver at number 3, and they got Lakers at number 4. Every single power ranking that you look at right now around the NBA, any outlet, Lakers are top 5. They're top 5. And it's funny. When they made this list, they said the previous ranking for the Lakers was 12th. They're 4th now on ESPN's ranking. It says top newcomers. Every team has this like one item line that says top newcomers. For the Spurs, all they put on there was Dylan Harper. For Denver, all they put on there was Tim Hardaway Jr. You know what they put on here for the Lakers? They could not have a conversation about the Lakers without putting Jake LaRavia, DeAndre, and Marcus Smart. All three players that the Lakers picked up in the offseason are their top newcomers. Every other team's got one player on there. They got KD for Houston, one player. They're only highlighting one player. Lakers have three players that they have to highlight. So to just kind of go full circle with that LeBron conversation, and thank you again to all the members that helped put that topic together. A phenomenal topic here. You're in the mix here. And I think that's all LeBron wanted. All LeBron was looking for is, I just want to be in the mix. You're 8 games in. You see, you haven't even played a game yet, and the Lakers are in the mix. So love the idea, love the concept, and I wonder if LeBron's kind of shifted some of his thought process, like, guys, there is no other place I should. By the way, I always call LeBron's bluff. He ain't going anywhere. That's my personal opinion. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he'll most likely eventually retire as a Laker. Now, the question is going to be, is it going to be this year? Is it going to be next year? We'll see what happens. The guy is building, this mansion in, where is it? Beverly Hills or wherever it is, right? Somewhere in LA. His family is here. Bronny's on the team. He's not going anywhere until he decides he doesn't want to play the game anymore. So shout out to the members for helping out with that topic, and I really appreciate that. We got a new member, by the way. I don't know if it's like Shmoney or SH Money. I don't know. But whether it's Shmoney or SH Money, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a member. That means a lot. I really, really appreciate that. Guys, be members. Come hang out with me behind the scenes. Come on. All right, good stuff right there. Thank you very much for being a member, and a really good topic there. I appreciate you guys helping out with that topic. That was good. That was good. Remember when I was telling everybody that they didn't wake up early enough, and then the chat's like, Al, I've been up since 5 a.m. And then I just got very, very quiet about saying that we were prepping at 7:30 while everybody else was playing grab ass. That's interesting. Yeah, I think there's a little bit to that, being motivated by what the Dodgers did. Oh, we had it, man. Oh, freaking Jays, man. Freaking had it. 10 solid days of being a Jays fan, gave everything I got, nothing in return. Nothing in return. It's not easy. It's not easy for us Jays out there. I took that I took that clip. I took that clip that I did on the World Series, and I cut it and I put it out there. And it got a lot of views. So I'm always curious, like, all right, let me lob in a baseball take here. How does it do this and that? Right. And by the way, I was talking baseball every day for 4 years in LA. So, I do want this channel obviously to be just Laker related, but man, this dude had a comment in there that just hit everything so perfect about the World Series. His comment said something to the effect of, the idea was, if you're going to go beat the champs, you can't be scared to do it. Like, to take out the champs, you got to take out the champs. And it's almost like the Blue Jays played not to lose towards the end and let the Dodgers hang around just long enough to win the whole thing. And that's the best way to put it. It's kind of like playing a prevent defense in the NFL. You're up 10 going into the fourth quarter, and then you just keep looking at the clock. It's a clock running out. It's a clock running out, and then you lose by a field goal. That's usually how it works out. Okay, I got some NBA news that I want to get into as well. A couple things on the NBA, and then we're going to go from there. It's the quote. To take out the champs, you got to knock them out. 100%. 100%. You got to, and they didn't go for the kill. You got to go for the kill. They didn't go for the kill. And I did say this before, Dodgers were clutch. I mean, so clutch. All right. You know what? I didn't make it. You know, my schedule got mixed up. I was unavailable. I was really disappointed not to make it. It's just sometimes, just meeting after meeting, one thing after the other. I just couldn't do it. All right, let's keep going here. Let's keep going here. NBA news. Did you guys see this little battle between Kevin Durant? I don't even know if it's a battle. Kevin Durant and Draymond Green. I love this stuff, by the way. This stuff for me. Did you see Darvish out for the season? I did see that. Yeah, that's very disappointing. But the man's been doing it for a long. I got so much respect for you, Darvish. You, Darvish, is the freaking man. That guy has been in the league for a long time. Has had a tremendous amount of success, and basically knew he was going to be pitching with at any point his elbow could go out. Like that's basically like I'm going to pitch until my elbow or my arm falls off, and obviously kind of found a way to do everything he can for the Pods over the years. Okay, let me share this here real quick. Kevin Durant, Draymond Green exchange a couple of comments. Let me kind of pop this up here. We'll bastards, all of you guys. All right, Kevin Durant believes offense wins championships. So the Athletic kind of put this out. You guys can see there's a few different outlets out there that are talking about this. If I get the story correct here, this is Draymond Green, who did an article with the Athletic, and was this with the Athletic? All right, I'm going to try to do my best here to make sure that I'm given the proper praise here, but it looks like it was on Netflix. Kevin Durant believes offense wins championships. You have to score baskets. If you want to win a championship, playing defense, we can get any of y'all in here to bend your legs. That's easy. So basically saying that defense does not win championships, offense does. You have to score baskets if you want to win a championship. Playing defense, okay, went into that. Got to contest a shot. Then Draymond Green did a sit down. There it is. Draymond Green did a sit down with the Athletic with Sam Amick, one of the best NBA writers out there. Here's what Draymond said. If you look at most teams that couldn't quite get over the hump, oftentimes it's because they couldn't get stops. That fact still remains, and I think that those who don't believe it don't win. It's very simple. Those who don't believe defense is as valuable as it is, they simply just don't win. I don't think anyone's ever really been hell-bent on caring about the opinion of those who don't win, because your opinion equals zero. Draymond Green does not, he's pretty clear when he says something. All right. Then Amick asks him, yeah, but Kevin Durant it was Kevin Durant that said what he said. He said he won here and the defense was, Sam Amick says, incredible. And Draymond Green says, exactly. KD, and the offense was incredible. Both of them are trying to make a case here. I don't know what their relationship is. We know that probably a big reason why Kevin Durant left the Golden State Warriors was, could have been a number of reasons, but I think that famous clip that's out there, the Clippers playing the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green and Kevin Durant go at it on the sidelines. And that probably kind of started the end of his time with the Golden State Warriors. So I'm sure that they don't have all that much of a relationship. Draymond Green is hot and cold for me. Draymond Green went through a phase in the NBA where I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? The guy literally, it feels like he has mental health issues, something. I mean, there's something wrong. I mean, he's in every mix. He's yelling at the refs. He can't control himself. He's getting technical fouls. He's getting thrown out, this, that, all that stuff. Draymond Green, for me, has been such a huge piece for the Golden State Warriors. And I don't really understand the angle that KD has here. I do think defense wins championships. I do. And I think all sports have a similar theme. I think in baseball, yeah, you can have teams that go out there and put 5-6 runs up. But once you get to the postseason, give me starting pitching and defense. In the NFL, you can have teams that go out there and drop 35 points in the regular season. In the NFL, go ahead and, or in the playoffs, go ahead and give me the team that gets stops and knows how to run the ball, controls the clock. So I do think that it really, really, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you that I thought the Golden State Warriors were winning championships because they were phenomenal on defense. Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They had a lot of players that can step up. So the offense was incredible. I think KD is trying to maybe justify his value, and Draymond's trying to justify his value. If you told me at the end what kind of team you need to, Michael Thompson used to always tell me that everybody thinks of the Showtime era as just this, that's all they did was just score 150 a game and pass the ball and no look passes here, that. They also locked down people on defense. So for what it's worth, and I think it's a fun NBA conversation to have, I'm taking defense. All right, a couple other quick NBA stories that I got, and then we're done until tonight. Desmond Bane got tossed out of the game yesterday. Bane, what are you doing? I've never seen that. Desmond Bane found a way. You guys want me to play it for you if you guys haven't seen it? What the hell was that yesterday? I've never seen Desmond Bane take somebody down and throw the ball at somebody all in one motion. It's pretty creative. I got to be honest with you. I didn't know Desmond Bane had that in his game. Very, very creative possession by Desmond Bane. Let's see if they got it here. Yeah, I got it right here. All right, let me share my with you guys, and you guys can take a look at this. Desmond Bane did a 1-2 punch I've never seen before. It was a 1-2 I've never seen before. It was almost as if like he was in a Zen state of mind and, did something that's never been done in the history of the NBA. Take a look at it.
And this play certainly woke the crowd up. I ain't never scared of playing. I mean, there's Mr. Lerner.
What the hell did I just watch?
Look at this. And this play certainly woke the crowd up. I ain't never scared of playing. I mean, there's Mr. Lerner.
How's that possible? How in that split second did you say, you know what, the ball is it's at a perfect angle for me to now throw it off of him. I'm going to foul him, which is a good foul. You don't want to give and one. I love that. This is perfect. How did he do that? How in your mind did you say to yourself, I got to do this, and then I also immediately have to spike the ball at his head? It's pretty good. I mean, it was creative. I've never seen it before. Desmond Bane, what are you doing, brother? I have to say, and I don't know how they're doing, but Orlando was picked by a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference to make some noise. And I think they're just hovering around 500. Where are they? No, they're 3-5. Yeah, they're off to a bad start. Okay, last NBA story that I have, and then we're going to call it a day. Well, sort of last story. The Chicago Bulls have one loss on the season. They came back yesterday from down 24. They're now 6-1. If I'm right, this is one of the few instances where a team can make a trade and both teams feel like they got great value. Josh Giddy is balling out in Chicago. The problem with Josh Giddy, the Oklahoma City Thunder needed an Alex Caruso to try to win an NBA championship. They didn't need Josh Giddy because Shea's already there. And Jalen Williams, and, Giddy's a nice player. Talk about Chicago jumping on an opportunity. 23 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists a game for Josh Giddy, and he's kind of becoming the face of their franchise in Chicago. But that's a really, really phenomenal start for the Chicago Bulls. And again, like I said, pretty damn impressive to see what he's doing right now. And again, the Thunder will never look back and say, well, we shouldn't have traded for Alex Caruso. They won a championship, and Caruso was a piece they needed. But the Chicago Bulls, let's just say, I don't think they're missing Alex Caruso. So I don't think that's happening as well. All right, my people, I think we're done. What do you guys got? Any more comments? Last couple of comments you guys want to get in here? Let's get a couple more in here. Correct. Caruso better fit than Giddy for the Thunder. And Josh Giddy is perfect for Chicago. Just perfect for Chicago. Wemby shaking knowing he's going up against the Showtime Lakers tonight on national TV. Let's hope Austin Reeves is ready to go. Same thing. I had such a dirty foul on that 9th grader. Such a dirty foul. And as he's going to the ground, I threw the ball at him. I said, not in my house. Not in my house. And I also told him, please subscribe to the channel. I think that's all we got today, guys. Fun show today. I really appreciate it. Maybe I'll throw in a couple more personal stories for you guys on, but I'll always ask for a vote. I'll just say, do you guys want the personal story or do you not? And now I'm not playing pickup ball for a while here. That's it. I'm out 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you for the new membership. Thank you to everybody hanging out. I really appreciate it. Having fun doing the show, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the show as well. Hope you guys have a tremendous, great rest of your day. I'll be back tonight after the Lakers take on the San Antonio Spurs. Expect me after J.J. Redick interview. So I'm going to listen to the J.J. Redick interview for those. I did mention it last game. I'm going to probably steer clear of playing some of these interviews. Just want to play it safe from a rights perspective. You know, obviously I don't own any of that content and NBA rights out there and things along those lines. So I'm going to come on. Post-game show will start after J.J. Redick. I could take some notes. I could listen to what he had to say, get my final touch-ups ready for the post-game show, and then we'll get started. So thank you, everybody, tuning in. I appreciate that. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 8 a.m. and tonight after the Lakers take on the San Antonio Spurs. Have a great rest of your morning.